Matthew chapter 5, the Sermon on the Mount. We finished the Beatitudes. Boy, did I finish them off. Okay. Ready for verse 13. And a teaching about our impact, influence, at least, on the world around us. I get from this that one of the things that we can say about Jesus's desire for his people is that they would make a difference. All right, here we go. This is verse 13. You are the salt of the earth. When I was a little kid, I don't so much hear it anymore, but when I was a little kid, I remember adults talking about someone, a good person, say, they're salt of the earth. Well, what does that mean? You have to think a little bit, actually you have to think primarily in terms of what would century 1 Israelites have understood about salt. What was its function in their day? Well, it had only two basic functions. One was for flavoring. Have you ever? I'm not a big vegetable hater, but one of the vegetables that is maybe my least favorite. No, that's not fair. It's most often used, and in that category, one of my least, is green beans. Have you ever had green beans without salt? Oh my gosh. Can you just cut up the garden hose? I mean, that would do me. I remember when about the first year after my heart attack, Debbie was vigilant about my diet. And I'm so grateful and blessed that she did that. I didn't have to, and she did it for me. One of the things was I could only have 1,500 milligrams of salt per day. That would be, I don't know, about 5 French fries from McDonald's. Things that I like, and probably things that you like, one of the reasons we like them is because they've been salted. They have taste. One of the things that, as I understand, I have no culinary background, except I know there are things I like and things I don't like. But one of the things, when salt is used properly and used well, you don't really taste the salt. It enhances the taste of whatever you've applied it to. Okay, that's a pretty nifty idea for followers of Jesus. You are the salt of the earth. One of the ways I think we take the meaning is you enhance the flavor. You draw out the goodness, and how do you do that? See, here's one aspect, I think. When salt is used improperly, all you taste is the salt. Now, if we're the salt of the earth, and if, as I think is true, our function is to enhance and bring out the true flavors of others, it can't be about me, right? For me to do my best as salt, my best work would be when I enhance, when I draw out the best in the people around me. As a Christian, that ought to be at the top. I mean, that should be one of the first bullet points on our job description as Christians, to draw out the best in other people. And while I think it should be easy to do that with other Christians, I'm not naive. I know it is not easy. I was only in local church ministry as a paid minister and pastor for 45 years, so I don't know everything there is to know, but in those 45 years I have had experiences where Christian people have been hard to bring the best out in. I don't think this is just for Christians, though. I think wherever we are, one of the things that we're capable of, and that we want to be careful to use the word ought with this, but I think we ought to do, is bring out the best in others. We got a kitten, and she likes attention, and so she'll do all kinds of stuff that, yeah. So if you hear these noises, that's what that is. And oh, by the way, she reminds me of me. She just tore up a little thing here. Ow! Oh, dadgummit. She just, ow! She drew blood. Okay. I'll get over it. Salt. Second use of salt in century 1 was to preserve things. They would salt fish so that it wouldn't spoil and become toxic. It preserved it so that it could be used later, and this was true of other things as well. I may have to break away here and nail this cat. So anyway, oh, look at that. She nailed me. There should be a sense in which a Christian is able to influence the preservation of a what's the word I want to use? Humane, rational culture around them. They by demonstrating it in their own life, it ought to be possible for a Christian to bring into their social settings that kind of excuse me, it sounds cliche, but that kind of Christian values. We're in a situation, as I believe it to be in our country, that is similar to things that have happened in a cyclic fashion in my lifetime in terms of turmoil and social dissatisfaction, political rivalry, and division. It seems, though, to be more intense. And I've already talked about, I think one of the big reasons is social media. It's just in our face. 24-hour news cycles. It's over and over and over again. So, but shouldn't it be possible for a Christian to bring Christian values into a social setting so as to preserve the dignity of human beings within the culture? Okay, salt. You're the salt of the earth. But if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? Well, and that's a rhetorical question. The answer is it can't. You can't, once it's spoiled and ruined, there's no turning back. It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled by men. And I don't think he's necessarily projecting a metaphor there that somehow the trampled underfoot is what will happen to us. And I don't. All I know is I want to stay salty. I want to be able to continuously, as best I can, enhance the flavor, bring out the best in people around me. I want, now it's getting worse. I want to do in the world that I'm a part of what salt does. To preserve the values that are God's design for us. Okay. If I don't, it's not a happy picture. And he goes on in verse 14, you are the light of the world. You can see the kitty now. Yeah, here. You're very cute, but you're dangerous. You're the light of the world. Don't so much hear that. They're salt of the earth. I don't very often hear, they're the light of the world. I want to be that person, though. I want to be the kind of person who brings light. Okay. He goes on, it's not just for the light of the world. You're a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. I wasn't around for this, but I've read books and heard people talk about during World War II. What was the term for these guys? Civil defense, I think. They would enforce a blackout for cities, for houses in cities, and the reason was simple: we didn't want to be targets of the. Primarily, I think it was of the Nazis and then of the Japanese, depending on which coast you were in, because when a city is all lit up, they're a easy target. I live in a city of lights. There doesn't matter what time of night I fly into Las Vegas, and I've flown in at all kinds of ridiculous hours. It's always bright. There's always light. There's always, I hope you're getting as much fun out of this as I am. You can't hide Las Vegas. Too many lights. I think what Jesus is saying, hey, don't be trying to hide the fact that when you bear his image, when you are living out God's design in your life as best you can by the power of his grace, you're going to stand out. By the way, sometimes I'm going to refer you back to the Beatitudes. There are going to be times when, as you stand out against the backdrop of the brokenness of culture, you'll become an enemy of many within that culture. To be a light, to bring light, it's pretty important, significant, and yet difficult at times assignment. Okay, between the cat and the remaining few seconds left here, I think I'm done. I'll try to give it a better shot, and I'm also going to close the door next time when we get together for Soul Care with Stevie Boy.